let me tell you a story. A story that still haunts this small town to this day. It's about a house, an ordinary-looking old farmhouse just outside the town limits. From the outside it looks like any other abandoned house, windows shattered, paint peeling, surrounded by overgrown weeds. But this house is anything but ordinary. Years ago, a family named the Harveys moved in. They thought they had found the perfect place to start fresh. It was a peaceful house, surrounded by nothing but fields and silence. But it didn't stay silent for long. One night, their young son Alex woke his parents up, claiming he'd heard whispers. His parents shrugged it off as a nightmare, as children often have. But the whispers didn't stop. Every night, Alex would hear voices, faint but clear, coming from the walls. Soon the whole family started hearing them, whispering, mumbling, almost like the house was alive. Mr. Harvey tried to laugh it off, saying it was just the wind, but deep down they all knew it wasn't. They felt it, a presence, lurking in the shadows, watching them. Things only got worse from there. They started finding strange symbols carved into the walls, symbols that hadn't been there before. Every night they would hear footsteps echoing through the empty halls, but whenever they went to check, there was no one there. One night, Mrs. Harvey woke up to the sound of crying. Thinking it was Alex, she got out of bed and went to his room. But when she opened the door, she froze. Alex was fast asleep, and the crying was coming from the walls. Terrified, she ran back to her room, but there, on the floor, was something she hadn't expected: a photo. It was old, worn, and slightly burned at the edges. It showed a young family standing right in front of the very same house. The problem was, the faces were scratched out. They say that was the night Mrs. Harvey finally snapped. She begged her husband to leave, to get as far away from the house as possible. But Mr. Harvey, stubborn as ever, said they couldn't afford to move. They had invested everything they had in this house. It was theirs. Days turned into weeks, and the strange occurrences only escalated. Doors slammed shut on their own, shadows moved across the rooms, and every night the whispers grew louder, as if the house itself was growing impatient. Then, one night, the family simply disappeared. Just like that. A neighbor had come to check on them, but found the house completely empty. Everything they owned was still there, untouched, like they had simply vanished in the middle of the night. Years passed, and the house remained abandoned, or so it seemed. People say that if you listen closely, you can still hear whispers coming from within. They say the house holds the memories of the Harveys, and anyone who dares to enter never comes out the same. So, if you ever come across a small, decrepit farmhouse on the outskirts of town, and you hear whispers calling your name, just walk away. Because sometimes, the things that go bump in the night aren't looking for company, they're looking for someone to stay.